Hello everybody. Balikan natin yung ating mga napag-aaralan. Pero before yan, sabi po, protect our planet, secure our future. Mula po sa ating mga pinag-aralan, natutunan po natin na meron tayong mga national environmental laws gaya po ng PD 1586 of 1978. We have also RA 6969 of 1990, Republic Act 8749 of 1999. Meron din tayong RA 9003 of year 2000 and RA 9275 of year 2004. And we have also the DAO 2014-02 or the revised guidelines for PCO accreditation. So kung babalik tanaw tayo sa ating mga napag-aralan, ang itinuturo lang sa atin as a registered business, dapat meron tayong 100% compliance sa mga requirements po ng mga batas na ito. At ito pong mga batas na ito ay ini-implement ng Department of Environment and Natural Resources, Environmental Management Bureau on a nationwide scale. And tayo bilang pong mga designated or appointed pollution control officer, we have the duty to attend to all the permitting and registration requirements of the establishment pursuant to the requirements of these major environmental laws. So, sa PCO, if it is our duty to attend to all permitting, so let us secure applicable permits, clearance, and certificates from EMB Regional Office. Now, napag-aralan po natin na yung PD 1586, kailangan po tayong merong compliance at ang compliance natin dito ay either Environmental Compliance Certificate or Certificate of Non-Coverage. At yan po ang priority natin sa lahat ng compliances. Yan po ang mauuna sa kailangan nating makomply. After po na magkaroon tayo ng ECC or CNC, kailangan na rin nating mag-secure ng PCO accreditation. Now, kapag nag-secure tayo ng accreditation, natutunan natin, kailangan competent tayo at makapag-present tayo ng ating proof of competency. At isa po dyan yung ating Certificate of PCO Training along with the Certificate of Managing Hand Training and other credentials like yung ating pong educational attainment at yung ating mga work experiences. Sa prioritization natin ng compliance sa DNR requirement sa ating mga establishment, pangalawa itong pag-secure ng PCO Certificate of Accreditation. Kung babalikan natin yung nakalipas na mga discussion, natutunan nyo din under Republic Act 8749 or Clean Air Act na kailangan meron tayong permit to operate ng ating APSI or Air Pollution Source Installation. Gaya ng applicable sa atin, probably yung genset, probably fuel storage tank. At sa pangkalahatan, kung meron pong mga malalaking capacity, nare-require ng mga emission testing. Kung hindi man sa emission testing, yung sa ating ambient air quality monitoring. So that's our priority in our compliance requirement to secure permit to operate of air pollution source installation. And pang-apat sa priority natin ay ang pag-secure ng wastewater discharge permit. at kung saan man jurisdiction, like if we are under the jurisdiction of Laguna Lake Development Authority, doon tayo kukuha ng discharge permit. And outside Laguna de Bay region, kumukuha tayo ng discharge permit sa DNR Environmental Management Bureau. So per RA 9275 or the Philippine Clean Water Act, kailangan nating mag-secure ng wastewater discharge permit as our compliance to the requirement of RA 9275. At yan yung ating pang-apat na priority. At kung kailangan natin ng mga water testing dahil may discharge tayo, kailangan natin ng siphoning kung wala naman tayong mga discharges at nandun lang sa ating mga temporary storage tank. And if we are connected to the building drainage or to the centralized treatment plant, kailangan humingi tayo ng certificate of interconnection para sa exemption ng discharge permit. And panglima sa ating priority, kailangan natin mag-register as a hazardous waste generator. Magkaroon tayo ng hazardous waste generator registration certificate as a proof of our compliance to RA 6969. So kapag nakakuha na kasi tayo ng DNR ID number as shown in our registration certificate, we can now dispose our hazardous waste generated in our facility. After securing permit to transport, managing our hazardous waste manifest, pwede na nating ipa-transport ito at dalhin sa isang approved TSD facility. Maybe some of us are required to secure applicable permits depende kung gumagamit tayo ng mga chemicals sa ating facility. Like SQI, PMPIN, PCL Compliance Certificate, Chemical Control Order Permit, and ODS registration for service provider. So titingnan lang natin kung applicable ang mga requirements na ito sa ating facility. And syempre bilang mga PCO, kailangan natin i-strategize ang lahat. So if we still confused kung ano ang unahin natin ang Environmental Compliance Certificate or Certificate of Non-Coverage. Pangalawa, ang PCO accreditation. Pangatlo, ang ating wastewater discharge permit. Pang-apat, permit to operate of APSI. Panglima, yung registration as a hazardous waste generator. And pang-anim, yung other relevant permits like permit to transport, PCL clearance, chemical control order permit, ODS registration. At yan kung applicable sa atin. Papansin nyo, ang ating mga requirements ay naka-connect doon sa ibang permits, registration, or certificates. Example, yung ating discharge permit, number 3, para makakuha tayo nito, kailangan meron tayong number 2, and then number 1, and then number 5. So, kaya connected. So, we can apply permits, we can register, we can secure certification simultaneously. Siyempre, ang pag-apply ngayon, natutunan ninyo through series of application. Uunahin mo yung ECC or CNC at kasunod yung PCO accreditation. Pangatlo, yung discharge permit application. Pang-apat, yung permit to operate ng APSI. At panglima, yung DNR ID o yung Hazardous Waste Generator Registration Certificate. At itong mga permits, registration, certificate, kadalasan hinahanap ito sa iba pang mga permitting application. Gaya po ng discharge permit, hinihingi po yung DNR ID o yung Hazardous Waste Generator Registration Certificate. Ganun din sa permit to operate ng APC, nahanap din yung DNR ID. At syempre, common yung ECC or CNC at PCO accreditation. Kailangan, before mag-secure ng discharge permit, kailangan tayo po ang ating company profile ay registered sa Company Registration System or CRS. Sa mga DNR online services, una natin kailangang asikasuhin na ang ating company profile ay registered sa Company Registration System. In our online transaction with DNR, napakahalaga na mauuna na marehistro muna ang ating company profile. Sumunod na yung PCO application system. So kapag rehistrado na po tayo ang ating company profile sa company registration system, we can now utilize the PCO application system for the purpose of PCO accreditation application. Dahil nakalink yung PCO application system sa ating CRS. Number 3, yung online permitting and monitoring system. Kailangan din po nakalink din ang ating account sa OPMS sa CRS. Therefore, sa online permitting and monitoring system, kung hindi tayo registered sa company registration system, we cannot utilize OPMS for the purpose of applying permit to operate of genset, discharge permit application, and other features. Number 4, we are using the hazardous waste management system to register as a hazardous waste generator. And sooner, sa pag-secure ng permit to transport, pagmamanage ng ating manifest for the disposal of our hazardous waste. Pero we can use these online services, the HWMS, kung tayo po rehistrado sa ating company registration system. And finally, we can submit our DNR self-monitoring report. We can use the online services for the submission of self-monitoring report kung registered ang ating company profile sa company registration system. So, yan pong ating mga DNR online services. Kailangan meron tayong mga account, whether tayo ang gumawa o yung gumawa yung dating PCO na pinalitan natin. Ang importante, we have access. We have an access to the online services. So, halimbawa sa company registration system, hanapin dyan yung username and password. So, dapat meron tayo niyang information yan. Sa PCO application system, personal email po yan at saka password. And then pangatlo, sa OPMS, ang hahanapin po dyan ang active email at saka password. Yung number 4, HWMS, hahanapin dito ang email and then password. At sa online services, self-monitoring report, same sa account na ginagamit sa pag-login sa company registration system, yung username and password. Kapag tayo ay registered sa company registration system, meron tayong company reference ID. At yung company reference ID for the first time login sa OPMS number 3 at saka HWMS, ilalagay natin yung information na to. Company reference ID, date of approval of CRS registration, and first and last name of the account user ng CRS. So we can utilize the features of OPMS and HWMS kung mailalagay natin yung tatlong information na ito. So napakahalaga ng registration ng company profile sa company registration system dahil nakalink ito sa iba't ibang DNR online services. So we can use the features of online services of DNR like OPMS, HWMS, online services for self-monitoring report, and especially PCO accreditation system kung meron tayong registration sa CRS. Ang indicator, meron tayong company reference ID, kung kailan na-approve po yan at kung sino ang user sa company registration system. So kung meron tayong mga existing na mga compliance requirement, mayroon na tayong ECC or CNC, i-check natin kung updated pa, kung yung nasa project description consistent pa sa current situation, like pagdating sa size, pagdating sa capacity. Kailangan natin i-check kung same pa na nakalagay sa project description. Halimbawa, nakalagay sa ECC or CNC ang nakalagay ay 9,000 square meter total floor area. O, yun pa din ba ang size natin, ang total area natin? Baka nag-expand na tayo, nagdagdag na tayo ng mga buildings. And therefore, kailangan po yung i-amend. So if there are major expansion or major modification, kailangan dyan ng major amendment. So you will apply for amendment sa concerned EMB regional office. Sa ating PCO accreditation, yung ating mga bagong nag-a-apply na accreditation, pag na-approve po yan, it will be subjected to renewal every 3 years. So, pagkatapos ng 3 taon, i-renew po iyan, yung PCO accreditation. But sometimes, nag-a-apply din ng amendment, lalo kung nag-change na yung pangalan o yung apelyido ng babae. Ano po, may mga pagkakataon na nagkakaroon ng changes, yung company name, nagkaroon ng from Inc. naging incorporated. So, pwedeng i-apply for amendment. Ang discharge permit naman po, number 3, we can apply for the first time and then magre-renew. Kadalasan, 1 year ang validity ng discharge permit, pero meron namang 2 taon at meron pa nga maximum of 5 years. So that is subject for renewal kasi merong validity. At sometimes nagkakaroon din ng amendment. Amendment in the case na nagpalit ng pangalan ng company, nagpalit ng may-ari, so pwede mag-apply ng amendment. At sa permit to operate, number 4, we can apply for the first time and then subject din sa renewal. Kapag ang example natin ay generator set, 300 kilowatts pababa, yan po ay meron ng validity na 5 years. Pero subject pa rin for renewal every 5 years. And we can apply for amendment also. May mga permit to operate na hindi 5 years agad. Merong 4 years and 9 months. Meron ding 90 days. So, depende na yan sa discretion ng EMB Regional Office kung ilan ang ini-issue na validity. But basically, kung genset 300 kilowatts pababa, 5 years po yan. DNR ID number, we can apply for it for the first time, not subject for renewal, but subject for amendment. Lalong-lalo kung may mga hindi na irehistrong type of waste. Halimbawa, bilang restaurant, kadalasan H802 ang inirehistro. Tapos nakalimutan yung J201, nakalimutan I104. Pwedeng i-amend yung DNR ID number para maidagdag yung nakalimutang irehistro. And number 6, yung permit to transport, we can apply for the first time but not subjected for renewal. May validity period yan na 6 months. So the moment na ma-reach mo yung 6 na buwan from the date of issuance, expired na yung permit to transport. At syempre, sa mga pag-a-apply po na yan, may mga corresponding fees government fees. So halimbawa sa CNC, magkakaroon tayo dyan ng application fee na 1,240 pesos. Ang ECC naman about 5,070 pesos. Sa PISO accreditation, ang application fee ay 500 pesos. Sa discharge permit, ang application fee ay 95 pesos. Plus yung pong load-based fee na nakadepende sa volume ng tubig na nagagamit o nadi-discharge, sa quality ng tubig na dinidischarge, saka yung number of operating days per year. But application fee is 95 pesos. Permit to operate, depende po sa capacity. At merong 600 pesos na application fee. Pero meron pa yan, may iba pang consideration dyan. May iba pang factor kung paano magbibill o sa permit fee. Then DNR ID number, registration as a hazardous waste generator ay 1,040 pesos. At sa permit to transport naman, ang fee naman dito ay 1,000 pesos per type of waste. Now, bilang mga PCO, we need to ensure na meron tayong mga DNR permits while we are operating as a business. Dapat meron tayong mga compliance requirement dahil usually ito naman talaga ay prerequisite sa ating mga projects before implementation or sa ating business before operation. So kung babalikan natin, kailangan meron tayong ECC for Category A, Category B type of project, CNC naman pagka Category C and Category D. At kailangan meron tayong permit to operate of air pollution source installation issued by EMB Regional Office. Kung meron tayong mga air pollution source installation gaya ng generator set, 16 kilowatts and above yung capacity. Kung may boiler, um, fuel storage tank na 1,000 liter or 1 cubic meter and above capacity. And other equipment with emissions like LPG gas facility, yung ating mga biogas digester, yung mga hindi na mention sa EMB Memorandum Circular 2020-17 o yung mga APSI exempted for PTO. Sa ating operation o sa ating mga businesses, gumagamit tayo ng tubig. So possible po ang generation ng wastewater at kaya naman kailangan natin ng discharge permit as our compliance. But for those who are renting a commercial space o you are inside or tenant ng mall or you are a locator inside an industrial park o kaya naman connected tayo sa public sewer line, we can have an exemption sa discharge permitting requirement ng DENR provided makapag-present tayo ng Certificate of Interconnection. Kapag meron tayong impact sa environment as evidenced by ECC or CNC, pag meron tayong emissions as if evidenced by permit to operate, kapag meron tayong wastewater discharges as evidenced by discharge permit, dapat merong person in charge for the monitoring of this environmental aspect. At ang tawag natin dyan ay pollution control officer. Kailangan mag-comply tayo doon sa section 4 ng DAO 2014-02 ng isang pollution control officer ay dapat officially accredited by EMB Regional Office. So, nearly every establishment, nearly every project, merong impact sa environment. Merong potential emissions, actual or potential wastewater generation and discharge. Kaya kailangan ng pollution control officer with accreditation sa DNR EMB regional office. So, sa mga kadalasang concern ng mga PCO patungkol sa discharge permit, ang iba sa atin, kapag tayo po ay stand alone, meron tayong sariling building, meron tayong ino-operate o mini-maintain na wastewater treatment system, gaya ng septic tank system, oil and water separator, o isang wastewater treatment plant or sewage treatment plant. Kailangan natin ng discharge permit po nito dahil yan naman talaga po pagkatapos magkaroon ng treatment, dinidischarge natin. So if we have this kind of treatment system, lalo tayo mga stand-alone, under the requirement of RA 9275, kailangan natin dyan ng discharge permit. Pero doon sa mga lessee or tenant locator sa industrial park connected sa mga public sewer line, pwede tayo ma-exempt for discharge permit. Provided we can present a certification that we are connected to the building drainage as certified by the lessor or owner or operator of the commercial establishment, even inside the mall. At ganun din sa mga locator inside industrial park, hihingi tayo ng certificate of interconnection sa operator ng industrial park operating a centralized wastewater treatment plant. At kung tayo po ay connected sa public sewer, may binabayaran tayong sewer fee, yung outlet natin sa yung outlet pipe ng ating septic tank or oil and water separator ay napupunta sa public sewer line, then uh, we can be exempted for discharge permit provided na makakuha tayo ng certification sa operator or owner ng public sewer line na ito. So yan po ang atin pong mga napag-aaralan at I hope meron kayong natutunan. At doon nga po sa iba na merong wastewater treatment system, kadalasan meron tayong mga flow metering device sa unahan to determine kung ilan yung pumapasok na wastewater for processing. Naglalagay din tayo ng mga flow metering device sa dulo to determine kung ilan yung i-discharge. At kapag meron tayong mga wastewater discharges, ang ginagawa natin, kumukuha tayo ng sample at dinadala natin to sa laboratory. Meron naman, they are coordinating with the EMB accredited environmental laboratory. Sila mismo ang pupunta sa site at sila yung kukuha ng sample and dadalhin ito sa kanilang laboratory for appropriate analysis. Once na ma-analyze na yung sample, makakapag-compute na yan at may reflect na sa tinatawag na result of laboratory analysis. At yung result of laboratory analysis, nagpapakita ng iba't ibang parameters, wastewater monitoring parameters, yung result nung analysis, kung anong concentration per parameter, comparing it to the standard set by DNR. And as a PCO, we must ensure na all parameters being monitored, analyzed in the laboratory, yung result ay pasado sa standard set by DNR. Now, kung wala naman tayong mga wastewater treatment system na may discharges, kahit di na tayo kumuha ng sample ng tubig. Pero halimbawa, in the case of septic tank, in the case of oil and water separator, kung wala na pong additional treatment, bagsak yan sa standard ng DNR, yung quality ng tubig. So what we do, We coordinate with DOH recognized service provider for the siphoning of the wastewater in our septic tank para hindi na tayo ma-require ng um, testing. Ang kadalasan sa mga regional offices, ang nire-require na kukuha ng sample talaga ay ang mga accredited environmental laboratory personnel. Siyempre, they are trained how to get sample, how to preserve the sample hanggang makarating ito sa laboratory. Now, there are cases na tayo ang kumukuha ng sample, dadalhin sa laboratory. Kaya natuturuan tayo dito sa training kung paano ba yung sampling and collection. But only DNR EMB accredited laboratory can analyze a sample. At yung analysis, yung result of laboratory analysis, sila lamang ang nag-i-issue nito. So we can purchase equipment pero still dadalhin nyo pa rin sa laboratory for final analysis. Kasi ang dapat magsasabi na pasado tayo sa standard ng DNR ay ang mga DNR EMB accredited environmental laboratory, hindi tayo. So kahit may mga on-site laboratory tayo, may mga equipment tayo dyan, for self-monitoring na lang natin yan. Pero for the purpose of compliance, ang EMB accredited laboratory po ang magsasabi kung pasado at yung result of laboratory analysis issued by EMB accredited laboratory, doon ang basis kung talagang pumapasa ang ating mga wastewater discharges sa standard set by DENR. So, tingnan nyo po ang inyong discharge permit kung ano po ang nakalagay na condition. And typical po dyan yung quantity, kung ilan ang volume na kailangang i-discharge lamang, hindi pwedeng mag-exceed. Nakalagay din sa inyong discharge permit po yung parameters to be monitored at kung anong frequency. Kadalasan po yan every 3 months, isang beses magpapatest. At yung result ng testing, sinasama po yan sa ating mga submission ng self-monitoring report. So napakahalaga na meron tayong record ng discharge, meron tayong record ng wastewater sampling and analysis through the result of laboratory analysis kasi magagamit yan for the submission of the self-monitoring report quarterly. So, tingnan ninyo kung meron kayong mga requirements ng testing ng tubig. You can visit the website of DNREMB. Pwede nyong kontakin yung mga accredited environmental laboratory. So, pwede kayo pumunta sa emb.gov.ph. Hanapin nyo yung environmental laboratories accredited ng DNR EMB. So, I hope may natutunan kayo sa ating mga discussions. And finally, kayo po ay makapag-comply sa lahat ng requirements ng major environmental laws. And with that, dyan muna po tayo magtatapos sa ating recap. And remember, sabi po sa section 10, item number 3 of DAO 2014-02, attend to all permitting and registration requirements of the establishment prior to the construction, installation, or operation of pollution sources and control facilities. So that is your duty and responsibility as pollution control officer. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a good day.